Everyday driving habits that slowly damage your car. Most drivers do not kill their cars in one dramatic moment. They do it quietly. They do it during the normal commute, the quick grocery run, the school pickup, the late night drive home, or the morning when they are already in a hurry. That is what makes these habits dangerous. The car still starts. The engine still runs. The dashboard may look normal, so the driver assumes everything is fine. But a car can feel normal while wear is slowly building. Inside the engine, inside the transmission, inside the brakes, inside the tires, inside the fuel system, and even inside the electrical system. The first habit is ignoring warning lights because the car still drives fine. A steady check engine light does not always mean you need to stop immediately. Sometimes it can be something simple, like a loose gas cap, a small emissions leak, or a sensor issue. But simple does not mean meaningless. That light means the car has detected something outside the normal range. And if the light is flashing, that is different. A flashing check engine light can point to a serious misfire, and continuing to drive may damage the catalytic converter. Oil pressure lights, battery lights, brake warnings, and temperature warnings should also be taken seriously. These are not decorations on the dashboard. They are early messages from the car before the problem becomes obvious. The dangerous part is many drivers wait until they feel something. They wait for shaking. They wait for smoke. They wait for a no start. They wait until the car refuses to move. By then, the cheap diagnosis window may already be gone. The second habit is hard acceleration before the engine warms up. Many drivers start the car, pull out immediately, and press the gas hard like the engine is ready for everything. But right after startup, the oil is still moving through the engine. Cold oil does not protect moving metal parts the same way warm oil does. The engine feels that extra stress. The pistons feel it. The bearings feel it. The turbocharger, if the car has one, can feel it too. Even the transmission can take extra stress. You do not need to sit in the driveway for 20 minutes. That is not the point. The smarter habit is simple. Drive gently for the first few minutes. Avoid hard acceleration. Avoid high RPM. Let the car reach a normal rhythm before asking it to work hard. It is a small patience habit, but over years, it can reduce unnecessary wear. The third habit is riding the brakes or braking too late. Some drivers keep their foot resting on the brake pedal. Others rush toward traffic and brake hard at the last second. Both habits create extra heat and extra wear. Brake pads and rotors are designed to handle heat, but constant heat shortens their life. Late braking can also put more stress on tires and suspension parts. This is not about driving painfully slow. It is about reading traffic earlier. If you see cars stopping ahead, ease off the gas sooner. If you are coming to a red light, let the car slow naturally before braking hard. Smooth driving protects the brakes. It saves fuel, and it makes the whole car work less. The fourth habit is driving with low fuel too often. A lot of drivers wait until the fuel light comes on before they think about filling up. Doing it once may not destroy anything, but making it a habit can increase stress on the fuel system. In many vehicles, the fuel pump sits inside the tank, and it depends on fuel around it for cooling and lubrication. When the tank is very low again and again, the pump may work under more heat and stress. Older vehicles may also have more dirt or debris in the tank. Modern filters help, but constantly running near empty is still not a smart long-term habit. And that is the pattern with all these habits. One hard acceleration on a cold engine may not ruin the car. One late brake may not destroy the rotors. One low fuel drive may not kill the fuel pump. One ignored light may not cause instant disaster, but repeated habits are different. Cars absorb the stress quietly. Then months or years later, the repair bill shows up and feels sudden, even though the damage was building for a long time. So the first lesson is simple. Do not wait until the car feels broken. Pay attention early. Drive gently when the engine is cold. Respect warning lights. Brake smoothly. Keep enough fuel in the tank. These are not mechanic tricks. They are basic habits that protect expensive parts. But driving habits are only half the story. The next way drivers slowly kill their cars is by delaying maintenance until a small service becomes a major repair. Maintenance mistakes that turn small problems into expensive repairs. Driving habits can slowly wear out a car, but maintenance mistakes can turn that wear into real damage. This is where many drivers get trapped. They think maintenance is only important when the car feels different. If it starts, drives, and gets them to work, they assume the car can wait. But maintenance is not just about fixing something after it breaks. Maintenance is protection. It is what keeps small wear from spreading into expensive systems. A small service today may protect expensive parts tomorrow. The fifth habit is skipping oil changes or using the wrong oil. Engine oil is vital protection inside your car. It helps reduce friction, it helps carry heat, it helps clean internal parts, and it protects moving metal surfaces. When oil gets old, it can lose its ability to protect properly. When the oil level gets low, parts may not get enough lubrication. And when the wrong oil is used, the engine may not get the protection it was designed for. The scary part is the car may still run normally for a while. That is why drivers delay it. They say, "I will do it next week." Then next week becomes next month. Then the engine starts making noise, burning oil, overheating, or building sludge. A cheap oil change feels boring. An engine repair is painful. The sixth habit is ignoring strange sounds, smells, and vibrations. Cars give clues before something fails. A grinding sound may point to brake pads, rotors, wheel bearings, or another moving part under stress. A burning smell may come from leaking oil, hot brakes, coolant problems, or overheated parts. A vibration may come from tires, alignment, engine mounts, suspension parts, or even an engine misfire. The mistake is waiting until the clue becomes impossible to ignore. A small noise that happens only sometimes can become a loud noise every day. A light vibration can become shaking. A faint burning smell can become smoke. That does not mean every sound is an emergency, but a new sound, smell, or vibration that keeps coming back deserves attention. Checking early gives you more options. Waiting too long gives you fewer choices. The seventh habit is ignoring fluid leaks or low fluid levels. A small spot under the car can be easy to dismiss. Maybe it is just water from the air conditioner. Maybe it is only a few drops. Maybe the car still drives, but fluids are not optional. Coolant helps prevent overheating. Engine oil protects internal parts. Transmission fluid helps the transmission shift and survive. Brake fluid is tied to stopping power. Power steering fluid helps steering systems work correctly in vehicles that use it. A small coolant leak can become an overheating problem. A small oil leak can turn into low oil pressure. Low transmission fluid can cause slipping, harsh shifting, or serious transmission damage. A brake fluid leak can become a safety problem. Topping off fluid may help temporarily, but it does not fix the reason the fluid is disappearing. If you keep adding fluid without finding the leak, you are not solving the problem. You are only buying time. The eighth habit is neglecting tires and tire pressure. Many drivers think tires only matter when one goes flat, but tires affect almost everything the car does. They affect braking, steering, fuel economy, ride comfort, and traction. Low tire pressure can make tires wear unevenly. It can also reduce fuel economy. Overinflated tires can also wear poorly and reduce grip. Bad alignment can make the car pull to one side, and it can destroy tread faster than expected. Worn tires can increase stopping distance, especially in rain. Uneven tire wear can also warn you about alignment, suspension, or rotation problems. Checking tire pressure is one of the cheapest habits a driver can build. It takes minutes, but it can protect your tires and your safety. Here is the bigger lesson. Maintenance problems usually warn you before becoming disasters. The oil gets dirty before the engine gets damaged. The tire wears unevenly before it becomes unsafe. The coolant leak starts small before the engine overheats. The brake noise begins before the rotor gets destroyed. Most drivers do not miss these signs because they are careless. They miss them because the car still works. But a car working today does not always mean it is healthy. That is why smart maintenance is not about panic. It is about timing. Catch the small issue while it is still small. Check the fluid before it runs low. Replace the oil before protection breaks down. Fix the leak before it spreads. Inspect the tires before they become dangerous. Because once maintenance is ignored long enough, the driver moves into the most expensive habit of all, guessing. And guessing can cost even more than delaying maintenance. Costly mistakes drivers make when they guess instead of checking first. The last group of habits may be the most expensive because they happen after the driver knows something is wrong. At this point, the warning light may be on, the car may shake badly, the battery may keep dying, the engine may feel weak, and instead of confirming the real cause, many drivers start guessing. That is where money disappears fast. Guessing feels quick. Guessing feels cheaper than diagnosis. Guessing feels like taking action. But if the guess is wrong, the driver pays for a part, loses time, and still has the same problem. The ninth habit is replacing parts without proper diagnosis. This happens all the time. A code mentions an oxygen sensor, so the driver replaces the oxygen sensor. A code mentions catalytic converter efficiency, so the driver thinks the converter is dead. The car will not start, so the driver buys a battery. The battery dies again, so they buy an alternator. The engine runs rough, so they buy spark plugs. The reason is simple. A code is a clue, not always the final answer. An oxygen sensor code can be caused by the sensor itself, but it can also be caused by an exhaust leak, a vacuum leak, a wiring issue, or a fuel mixture problem. A P0420 code can point toward catalytic converter efficiency, but that does not always mean replace the converter immediately. Misfires, exhaust leaks, sensor readings, or fuel problems can confuse the diagnosis. A weak battery symptom may actually come from a parasitic drain, a loose connection, a corroded terminal, or a charging problem. This is why smart drivers check before replacing. Scan the code, look at the symptom, check the simple causes, then decide what part actually makes sense. The 10th habit is resetting warning lights without fixing the cause. Clearing a check engine light can feel satisfying. The dashboard looks clean again. For a moment, it seems like the problem is gone. But clearing a code does not repair a bad sensor. It does not fix a misfire. It does not stop a leak. It does not replace worn parts. And it does not restore lost fuel pressure. It only removes the message. If the cause is still there, the light will come back. Sometimes it comes back the same day. Sometimes it returns after a few driving cycles. Another problem is inspection readiness. When codes are cleared, the car may need time to complete its self-checks again. If those monitors are not ready, the vehicle may still fail an emissions inspection. Resetting after a real repair is fine. Resetting instead of diagnosis is the dangerous shortcut. The 11th habit is using cheap parts or wrong fluids just to save money. Saving money is smart. Using the wrong part is not. There is a difference between a good value part and a random cheap part that does not match the vehicle properly. The wrong oil can affect protection. The wrong coolant can create cooling system problems. The wrong transmission fluid can affect shifting. Cheap sensors may fail early or send inaccurate readings. Wrong spark plugs can cause misfires or poor performance. Low-quality brake parts may wear faster or make noise. This does not mean the most expensive part is always necessary. Smart repair is about buying the correct thing. The 12th habit is waiting until the car breaks down completely. Drivers tell themselves one sentence, "It still drives." That sentence can become expensive. A weak battery still starts the car. Until the morning, it does not. A small coolant leak still lets you drive. Until the engine overheats. A worn brake pad still stops the car. Until it damages the rotor. A misfire still lets the engine run. Until it hurts the catalytic converter. Low transmission fluid may still allow shifting. Until the transmission starts slipping badly, waiting removes options. When you act early, you may have a simple repair. When you wait, you may need a tow and a much more expensive fix. The goal is not to be scared of every little sound. The goal is to stop pretending that small signs do not matter. Most drivers do not kill their cars because they are careless. They do it because they wait. They guess. They reset. They ignore. And they hope. But hope is not diagnosis. The better habit is simple. Check early, confirm before replacing, use the correct parts and fluids. Do not reset warnings without understanding them. Do not wait until the car leaves you stranded. If you do that, you protect the engine, the transmission, the brakes, the tires, the fuel system, the electrical system, and your wallet. So be honest, which one have you done before? Ignored a warning light, driven on low fuel, delayed oil changes, reset a check engine light, replaced a part without confirming the problem? Comment below, because your experience may help another driver avoid the same costly mistake.